Hello, welcome to my first Scratch tutorial. Today I will show you how to program hitboxes, because apparently like 25% of the only 25% of Scratch users know how they work. So I'm basically gonna show you. If you ever wanted to make Scratch games but don't want to make them look like absolute shit, then this is for you. But first off, I made a simple character controller so I could help in the assistance, and also because I feel like it. So you might be saying, why do we need freaking hitboxes? Well, I'll show you that first. First, I will program how collision usually works in Scratch. So if you ever wanted to get out of something, what do? Obviously, you go obviously you want to get back out of the wall, so you go back to where you originally were. So let's say I hit right, and then you want to go back. Once you hit the wall, you go here. And then you do the same for all directions. Alright, we now have a basic collision system right here. It seems like we really don't need hitboxes, considering we already have the entire cat, and that's what most scratchers repeat to themselves. Well, little do you know, not programming hitbox is your worst enemy if you ever want two animations. Because this is what were to happen if you had that. Let's say every time you hit the arrows, you go moving in animation. So yeah, you do that. It might be a bit of a problem, considering you can get stuck sometimes, and it's really bad if you make a platformer, because those are bad with animations. It's also bad if you're making like a top-down thing with animations, and if the animations are too wide. For example, let's say Scratch Cat wanted to take a bit of a run, then I get stuck in the walls, as you can see. No, a lot of scratchers don't know how this works and just like sticking with it, but it's really easy how this works. Because you're like this. Once you get to here, your costume's like this, but because you switch to here, now you get stuck in the wall. So once you go back, even you're still stuck in the wall. So a little solution that everyone likes doing are hitboxes, because at one point you're gonna need it. It's really simple. Just take the sprite in another costume, surround it in the square you want to cover it in, and it can be in any shape you want, but the square is the most consistent. Then you delete the rest of the sprite, and now this is your hitbox. It'll be your sprite forever. And you're like, that's dumb. That's dumb. Don't I want animations? Not a single freaking square. And you might be right. I might be a dumbass and no one loves me. But anyways, that's not the point, because then we get to animate this after. Like this. But the problem still lies. There's no animations. And this is really good for projects that use like no animations and just want it to look polished. Because so you can see the whisker goes through like it should. Because I feel like that's polished enough, and it just looks better than before. But some people actually want animations, so I'm going to help you with that right now. We're gonna make a new variable that tracks the last animation, because as of right now we don't know what costume it was on before. So costume ID, that's what I usually like calling it, but you can call it something like last costume or something. It doesn't really matter. And you just put the costume name or number, it doesn't matter. But if your costume only includes numbers, I recommend putting costume number instead of that. Then you put that there, and then you can put this here, and it should look the same. But that's what it wants you to think, because now we have a track of the costume number, so we could just switch the costume number a bit. Cause like now it's storing this. This is our actual costume number, so now it'll switch to this. If it's a bit confusing, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at explaining things, but it makes sense afterwards. So now, over here, we're done with that. Now it's time to animate this in another code. This is the most simplest way, though I could show you the more complicated way after in another video. I could show you a complicated way in another video. It's just right now I want a simpler way for like normal scratchers who don't know what they're doing can get past here, can get past life. And we need to know if or we're gonna see if left arrow is pressed, right arrow is pressed, down arrow is pressed, or up arrow is pressed. And if any of those are pressed, we do this. This is gonna be an animation script. This is a really simple animation method people use. At least I think so. And minute, let me just fix this up a bit, because it looks a bit weird. Yeah, this is how it's usually animated. It looks good enough if you're making like a simple game, but if you have a game with more animations, you might want to check out my more complicated method. And now we're not getting stuck in walls, we can move freely around the place. And we're fine, because in secret, we have this costume being used. So it's not really a big issue. And that's the end of the tutorial. Again, if you have more costumes, I suggest checking out my more complex method. But if you only have like a few animations, like small ones, like this one, then you could use this tutorial if you don't know what you're doing. Because, to be honest, my other tutorial is a bit complicated, but once you understand, you might understand. So this is the end of my tutorial. I have a whole playlist if you want more that might help you in a scratch. So, see you later and goodbye.